This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. First tonight, the aftermath of Irma. One of the places that took a beating from the storm held a special benefit this evening in Ellington. Those who live in the Colony Cove retirement community are raising money for their neighbors who suffered damage in the storm. ABC7's Rick Adams has a story.
Well, scenes like this in Colony Cove are the reason why for this fundraiser. Some folks are still trying to piece their lives back together following the hurricane. Signs of Hurricane Irma can still be spotted in different sections of the Colony Cove retirement community in Ellington. People who live here say up to 35% of the more than 2,500 homes here had damage, some minimal and some major.
It was almost like there was a tornado in our garage. Everything was torn up, twisted metal, siding, everything was destroyed.
That's what led people in the community to hold a hurricane relief dance benefit for their neighbors Thursday night. Musician John Rennell donated his time and talents, and hundreds of people not only enjoyed his music, but also a raffle with donated prizes.
We have an awful lot of seniors that are on very strict fixed income, that are not able to afford to get their homes fixed. Also, a lot of them lost a lot of food.
Shelley Baker has lived in Colony Cove for just 10 months. She suffered lots of damage to her home, which she shares with her mom. She says she's happy folks came together for this great cause.
This community, we don't live together, but we take care of each other, and I've never seen that anywhere else. And I'm glad everybody's come out, donating their time, money, and everything. It's a wonderful blessing.
Some residents say they're hoping to get relief from FEMA, but they tell us that's not a guarantee. For someone like Dan Brennan, he'll take help where he can get it. He says his home could be a total loss.
It was devastating, devastating. I don't think I ever felt that low.
And to find out how you can help folks here in Colony Cove who were affected by Hurricane Irma, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Ellington, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rick, thank you. Governor Rick Scott announcing Florida's law enforcement officers and first responders will be able to enjoy license-free freshwater and saltwater fishing starting today. This is in recognition of their life-saving work preparing and responding to Hurricane Irma. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission will accept official first responder identification in lieu of a Florida fishing license during this period. Florida Department of Environmental Protection is also offering free day passes to Florida state parks. These can be used until October of next year for all law enforcement officers, first responders, and utility workers. The American course at Bobby Jones Golf Club will reopen this Saturday. The storm downed and severely damaged 19 trees on the course. The British course and Gillespie Executive course are already open for play. Let's get a check on our weather tonight, and one big storm still out there spinning away. Here's Bob Harrigan with your first alert forecast.
Scott, get a look at the satellite imagery. It's actually getting a little bit better defined, at least deep convection being found in a 35-mile wide eye now in the center. And so the winds have come up once again with Maria, and it looks as though it's going to have some impact on the Turks and Caicos, also the southeastern portions of the Bahamas now, but it looks better as far as the northeast United States goes with this last advisory. Top winds now at 125, wind gusts up to 155 miles an hour, and there are hurricane warnings in effect for the Turks and Caicos as well as the southeast Bahamas. A tropical storm warning in effect for parts of the central Bahamas right now, it looks like, or a watch, I should say. As we take a look at the motion and movement, it's going to be moving off to the north-northwest, basically, and that cone is really narrowing, so no threat to Florida at this point. But notice at the end, it's starting to bend more toward the northeast. Now, there's still a chance it could hug this side of the cone, but more and more the trend has been off to the right, and that's good news for the northeast United States and the Carolina coast at this point. Still a lot remains to be seen, but looking more and more better for that. As far as the rain goes, it continues to be a big problem in Dominican Republic right now. Some flash flooding there, mudslides possible, and it's still raining in parts of Puerto Rico tonight, although not as intense, obviously. You don't see the deep reds there, but still getting some rainfall where flooding is ongoing throughout Puerto Rico. For us, we see the increase in moisture here on the East Coast. Well, that's going to be the case tomorrow. We're going to see more of that activity work its way all the way over to the West Coast, and a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms comes back into the picture on in through the day, it looks like, for Friday in the afternoon and evening, and then again on Saturday, a better chance for some showers and storms. Currently, we have clear skies, 80 degrees, the dew point temperatures at 69, and the humidity at 69%. Winds are out of the east at 9, and that's bringing that lower dew point in. The pressure's at 29.97 inches. And that is actually rising right now. So we have a rising barometer, which is also pretty good, but we're going to be kind of stuck in between a high and low pressure system, which means we'll have a chance to get a little breezier conditions, especially as we head into the weekend. Now, temperatures currently into the upper 70s to low 80s across the region. The Gulf water temperature now warm 85 degrees, upper 70s in places like Sebring, Lake Placid, and Avon Park, all into the upper 70s at this point, a little bit warmer right near the coast. Well, much more on the rest of the tropics. We'll take a look at what's going on out there, as well as our forecast for the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Scott, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Some changes for Manatee County drivers who use US 301 are coming. There will be no longer a left turn or cross traffic permitted off 301 onto or across 38th Avenue East. The signal will also be deactivated and eventually removed there, and then the median will be extended across the existing intersection. This is all happening because traffic will be able to then use the newly opened 44th Avenue East as the alternative or other local routes. This intersection change is scheduled for next Tuesday evening. Anyone who's been around law enforcement knows that no call can be considered routine, and that certainly holds true here on the Suncoast, where a deputy found himself chasing down a trio of ponies. Turns out the hoofed suspects escaped from their home and started wandering through the neighborhood. But with the help of some neighbors, these three mischievous ponies were finally captured and returned to their family. Great job to Deputy Hagan and all of the neighborhood who helped get them home safe. Cute, aren't they? Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back. He'll have the first alert weather forecast for our upcoming weekend. And then President Trump imposing new sanctions that target North Korea's finances. And we'll have the latest on the investigation where a police officer opened fire on a deaf man.
It's going to be a little bit time consuming and probably a bit tedious, but worlds better than it could have been.
We can rebuild. There's no problem about that. You know, you can put a new roof on a mobile home, you know, or new windows in there. But as long as you have your life, you know, that's all that matters.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Well, tonight, 20 men from the Suncoast community, including our own Bob Harrigan here, were determined to make strides against breast cancer. The Real Men Wear Pink fashion show taking place tonight at the mall at UTC. UTC stores supplied the clothing for the men to wear during the show. Looking good there, Bob. Maverick and Lulu were there from WCTQ emceeing the event. Manatee County Commissioner Carol Whitmore also making an appearance. This group of local leaders from the community are all raising money for breast cancer with hopes of raising a minimum of $2,500 each. They raise awareness for the cause through their social networks. And if you'd like to help, you can go online and make your pledge. You did this last year too, Bob,
Yes.
right? And of course it's personal for you because your lovely wife Susan is a year on now from beating breast cancer. So
You're a survivor, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome, and awesome already, people. I just started it today, my account, and already got a lot of donations, up to $400. You can go to my WWSB Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan page and actually find a link there to help out. And we're gonna see if we can't win again. We won last year. We'll see if we can't win this year as well. A lot more
no wonder they had you back.
Yeah, a lot more competition this year too. All raising money for a good cause, obviously, to find a cure. We are looking at some nice weather here. Beautiful sunset again tonight. Here is a photo that was sent in, and a beautiful one it is. Susanna, she sends them in occasionally, and that's a nice sunset right there. Paul Taylor, also with the little cloud action around. Not many clouds at all in the offing there, so it looks as though skies are going to be a little bit cloudier tomorrow. And the first sunset by Norm Schimmel there, and that's 5778, of course, for Rosh Hashanah. Appreciate that shot. Norm, nice one. Here's a look at the Van Wezel webcam showing pretty much nice weather all day long today. We had just a few clouds around, no real rain, and it looks as though things will kind of moisten up a little bit tomorrow as we'll see more moisture working its way in. Out ahead of Maria. Maria is going to just kind of whip some moisture around, and that will work its way across our area. And then we'll see a little bit of a heavier activity, I think, tomorrow afternoon and evening. And it could cause some problems for area high school football. Once again, it seems like weather has been getting a big problem lately with that. Some showers down to our south. Obviously, that moisture there is going to slowly, again, work its way in our direction. Typically, sometimes when you get close enough to these storms, it can cause things to dry out a little bit. But we're going to be so far away from it that just the easterly wind flow around it will pick up some moisture from the Atlantic and carry it all the way over to the west coast. Currently, we have clear skies and 80 degrees, and the dew point temperature is at 69. Winds are out of the east at 9, and the pressure to 9.97 inches, rising slightly at this hour. The high today was 91, a few degrees above the average, and 96 is the record set back in 1951. And this should read 0. We had 0.04 of an inch of rain yesterday, but 8.79 inches so far for the month. That's well above average. And we are calling for those showers and storms to move in late in the afternoon and throughout the evening. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Some of that could be heavy at times. And as far as the satellite imagery goes of Maria, it is still not that organized, but the reconnaissance aircraft, and we're getting some data in here from buoys indicating that the winds are starting to get a little stronger near the center, although it still looks like it's getting sheared apart here. It's not that true symmetrical area that we saw just a couple of days ago when it was a Category 5 hurricane. But the big problem now is the heavy rainfall in the Dominican Republic, and then eventually into Haiti, too. It looks like Haiti could get some of the heavier rainfall, and that does cause life-threatening mudslides throughout that area. Once it gets through there, the Turks and Caicos looks like may get hit by hurricane-force winds, and they're under a hurricane warning at this point. As far as the forecast track goes, the winds are out of the, it's actually moving out of the northwest today, but the winds are at 125 miles an hour. They're up 5 miles an hour from the earlier advisory at 5 o'clock. There's the forecast path and track. And one thing to note, that it is starting to bend a little bit more toward the northeast, at least that center line, and that's better news for the northeast United States. It appears that Jose has done its job and is not allowing that to hit us here. Most of the models, all the reliable ones anyway, agree with that motion and movement. There are a couple that take it off toward the Mid-Atlantic coast states and then eventually toward Virginia. Those are, again, outliers. The Navy model as well as the Canadian model, a couple of those doing that. But majority of them, the GFS and the Euro, all take it off in that direction. This is just about done. Post-tropical storm Jose. Winds are at 50 miles an hour, meaning that it's lost its tropical characteristics, but it's still a low pressure area causing some waves and some heavy surf, and even the possibility of some tropical storm force winds out near the Cape there. Now, as far as the rest of the tropics are concerned, we were watching this area for a little while. It has a 60% chance of developing. That is now gone. It's not going to be a problem. And now we'll start to focus a little bit more action, I think, on into the Caribbean over the upcoming weeks. So we still have a ways to go before the official end. The fall is just about ready to arrive, and you can see it's already moved in over the northern Rockies, down into the 40s there currently. For boaters, tomorrow looks good out there, a light chop. The winds will pick up, by the way, boaters, over the weekend, especially on Sunday. High tide at 149 and a low tide at 9:01. Tonight, partly cloudy, mild 75 for a low. And then for tomorrow, just a few clouds in the morning and then increasing clouds in the afternoon, a high near 88 degrees. Better chance for showers and storms, and then even more so on Saturday. Fall coming in just after 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It'll feel like summer on Saturday, though, with showers and storms around and temperatures staying pretty close to seasonal averages right through Thursday. Well, not a lot of fishing being done this week, but Steve, you can always count on him. He's out there. Longboat Key, Beach Fishing Adventures. Steve Herrick caught this nice flounder. He says the flounder are biting right now pretty well, and that's a nice catch there. Steve, appreciate it. Also, there's a big tournament coming up, and this is for kids, okay? This is at the Moult Marine Aquaculture location off of Fruitville there. It was scheduled for this month. It's now been postponed and rescheduled for Saturday, October 21st. So kids, take note. You can still sign up for this, too, and you can get the smay@moult.org for more information on that. And the cost is just $10. It includes lunch. It's for the kids. Basically, you get a free rod, a free reel, a lot of instruction on how to catch fish. So that happens again now on October 21st. And the Snook Shindig, which is the tournament, and it's a research tournament for snook. It's catch and release. Is still the 6th and the 7th of October.
Okay.
All right.
Still on schedule.
Yep.
All right, Bob. Thanks so much. Well, in Mexico City, efforts to free those trapped beneath the rubble of flattened buildings continues at a fever pitch. Rescue crews are not giving up, even as the death toll closes in on 300. ABC's Carlos Granda is in Mexico City.
Days after a 7.1 earthquake rocked Mexico City, many buildings here reduced to piles of debris. Rescue workers continue to pull survivors from the rubble. Firefighters easing this woman out of a hole in the ceiling. Her legs emerged first, then the rest of her body. More than 50 people rescued so far. But for anxious family members desperate for news of missing loved ones, the wait has been agonizing. This woman saying, "I think that is what kills us the most, the desperation of not knowing." For days, searchers have focused their attention on a ruined elementary school, painstakingly working their way through the rubble of what was once a building, hoping to find anyone trapped inside. Crews there signaling for silence, listening for signs of life. For some time believing that a 12-year-old girl was still alive, pinned under all that debris. Then officials announcing there was no girl there after all, that all students had been accounted for, though 19 children and 6 teachers lost their lives there. Thousands have been injured, and the death toll now more than 270. Rescue teams, first responders, and thousands of volunteers doing all they can.
We need to feel so good after 28 hours continue rescue people alive.
A long road of recovery ahead for Mexico City and those who call that city home. And Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto sending out a news release this evening saying that this work will continue as long as it takes and as long as they believe that some people could be alive in the rubble. Reporting from Mexico City, I'm Carlos Granda, ABC News.
President Trump imposing new sanctions that target North Korea's financial lifelines. The president announced them ahead of a meeting with South Korean and Japanese leaders in New York earlier today. President Trump says his orders also allow the U.S. to go after other sources of North Korean money in the future, including fishing and the textile industry.
Today I'm announcing a new executive order I just signed that significantly expands our authorities to target individuals, companies, financial institutions that finance and facilitate trade with North Korea. I must tell you that this is a complete denuclearization of North Korea that we seek. Cannot have this as a world body any longer.
The rogue nation is already under a string of international sanctions, but so far they have failed to stop it from developing nuclear arms and a missile program. Criminal investigation is underway in Oklahoma City in the shooting death of a deaf man by a police officer. ABC's Elizabeth Herr reports.
Surveillance cameras showing this violent car accident in Oklahoma City, the start of a string of events ending in a deadly police shooting. A green pickup truck pulling in front of another driver, getting hit, flipping over, landing back on its wheels, and continuing on. Police say it was then they were called to the hit and run. When officers find the truck parked at a house, they see 35-year-old Magdael Sanchez sitting on the front porch. The officers reportedly never heard the screams of several neighbors as Sanchez walked towards them with a metal pipe in his hand.
As the police pulled up, we was all, a couple of neighbors, me, my wife, and my daughter was outside and screaming at the cops not to shoot because he was deaf.
When you have a weapon out, you could get what they call tunnel vision. They very well could not have heard, everybody yelling.
Police say one officer then fired a taser, which reportedly did not work, while another officer, Sergeant Chris Barnes, fired his gun almost simultaneously. Sanchez died at the scene. Oklahoma City's police chief explaining the dual use of taser and gun.
One officer may have a taser and try to use the taser. The other officer provides cover fire, because if that taser doesn't work, then you still want to have that backup of the firearm to protect both the officers.
Investigators say the man's father was the one involved in the accident. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Coming up in sports, the USF Bulls playing tonight. But first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, get ready for round 3. Lindsey Graham, the senator who co-wrote the bill, says Donald Trump is focused like a laser on health care. And I'm guessing he means he's focused in the same way the cats on YouTube are focused on lasers.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089, 800-329-3089.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
Now, sports.
Well, it's been a great start to the season for the South Florida Bulls. USF coming in tonight's game against Temple, ranked 21st in the nation. Already 3-0 Bulls. Darius Tice will add to their lead. Look at him go right up the middle and gone. 46-yard touchdown. USF sprints out to a 10-0 lead over the Owls. Later, Bulls quarterback Quinton Flowers will call his own number, and then he goes up the middle and is gone. 22-yard touchdown, and with it he breaks former Booker star Marlon Mack's school record for most rushing touchdowns. It's 17-zip Bulls. South Florida winning easily tonight at home, 43-7 over Temple. Just one high school football game being played tonight. Bayshore hosting their crosstown rivals Southeast, and the Seminoles win it convincingly, 34-12 over Bayshore. A lot more games coming our way tomorrow night. Don't miss football Friday night with Adam Cellini and Dwayne Lindo, Friday night at 11:15. Former NFL player Aaron Hernandez suffered from a severe case of chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That's according to his attorney. Jose Baez says Hernandez's brain was tested for the degenerative brain disease. The condition is generally found in people after multiple head traumas. Researchers determined it was the most severe case they had ever seen in someone of Hernandez's age. It's known to cause anxiety and depression, which could have contributed to Hernandez's suicide in prison. Hernandez's daughter also filed a lawsuit against the NFL and the New England Patriots. The fading Rays in Baltimore tonight. First inning, Manny Machado at the plate, and with a man on, he takes Matt Andres deep and gone for the 2-run homer. Orioles with the early lead. Still in the first, Trey Mancini will drop a base hit into right field. That will score Adam Jones. And Baltimore up 3-0, and that's all they would need tonight. That's all they scored. The Rays lose it 3-1 and have now lost 9 of their last 13 since getting to a 500 record back on September 5th. That's sports for tonight. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers right after this.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-671-4817.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The 11 o'clock advisory, the new update now is suggesting that the tornado watch is over, although sometimes tornadoes do occur outside of the watch area.
Stay in for now because first responders still have to assess the area.
As information is coming in, we're just trying to make sure that it gets on air, on digital, and on the phone.
Storm's impact goes well beyond, damage and power outages. It also affects sports.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
40 Carats Family Center and the Community Foundation of Sarasota County present the 15th annual free speaker event, The Whole Brain Child, featuring world-renowned neuropsychiatrist and author Dr. Dan Siegel at Riverview High School Auditorium Tuesday, October 3rd at 7 p.m. Learn strategies to nurture children's minds at all ages, survive everyday parenting struggles, and help your family thrive. RSVP required at 40carats.org. That's FORTY carats.org.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
A Sarasota brewery getting some attention at the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. J. Dub's Brewery has 2 beers served at the event. Passion Wheat is at the craft beer tent, and Bell Cow Porter at the Block & Hans booth in America. The Food and Wine Fest goes until November 13th, so make sure to check out J. Dub's Brews there at Epcot.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah.
The wheat sounds good.
It does.
Have a good shot.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you again tomorrow.